I have a problem, and it's mildly concerning. Scratch that, it's very concerning.
Don't we all? Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Quasi here, back in it again with a banger video for y'all today. We're reacting to another one of these dumb animated stories again today, so let's just jump right into it, boys.
It's very concerning. Some backstory: when I was a senior in high school, I dated this one boy, Brendan. We went on for about 6 months before I broke it off. It wasn't because of anything bad, but it's simply because I lost feelings for him. I definitely don't regret telling him how I feel, but I know for a fact that it hurt him. I was his first girlfriend, and that probably didn't feel good.
Oh my god, dude, again with these horrible animations, like, look at this guy's face. He just looks so, like, just disordered. It's just so bad. I don't even understand how they make it this bad. That's how bad it is, man.
I don't regret telling him how I feel, but I know for a fact that it hurt him. I was his first girlfriend, and that probably didn't feel good. He and I lost all contact after that, but anyways. My dad is divorced and has been ever since I was born. My mother was given the choice to give me to him, or
I mean, isn't that how it is for all of us?
and has been ever since I was born. My mother was given the choice to give me to him or keep me. She chose her career path, and my dad was super stoked to have a kid.
Wow, that's a pretty bad mom you got right there, eh?
Me to him or keep me. She chose her career path, and my dad was super stoked to have a kid. Of course, he had to tell me all of this because how else was I supposed to know? Whenever I tell people that my mother chose to give up her motherhood for her job, they always ask me if I'm mad at her for choosing herself over me. Honestly, I don't care whether or not she did or she didn't. I love my dad, and as much as being unwanted sucks, my mother did what she had to do to make a living. Besides, my dad has given me a lot.
Yeah, okay, but that means she literally gave up her child over her career. Don't you think that's a little bit extreme? Like, child, career, I mean, I'd choose my child if I had one.
Mad at her for choosing herself over me. Honestly, I don't care whether or not she did or she didn't. I love my dad, and as much as being unwanted sucks, my mother did what she had to do to make a living. Besides, my dad has given me a life that I'm eternally grateful for. Well, recently my dad has been tossing around the idea of going
Uh-oh. Okay, now the story's starting to kick off a little bit here. Let's get into this, boys.
back into the dating world. After raising me for 20 years of his life, he believes that not only is he ready, but that I'm ready to have a motherish figure in my life. He asked me because it was only us for the longest time. Vacation, father-daughter days, bad days, great days, it was always him and I, no one else. Now that I'm old,
Wow, that sounds, are you sure you guys, didn't do anything? I mean, your dad's clearly been, looking for a particular someone, and you guys were alone for a very, very long time, as you just said. Are you sure nothing happened between you two?
sort of independent, who am I to stop him from dating who he likes? Well, he met a woman on a dating site. Her name was Raylan, and from her profile, she seemed nice. She mentioned that she had a kid in college and that they were out of state.
I think we all know where this is going right now. This is heading towards the, particular place of the internet.
Mentioned that she had a kid in college and that they were out of state for the next couple of months. She and he began talking with each other, starting simple with texts, then moving on to calls, then FaceTiming and all of that. I personally stayed away from that because I wanted to give him the opportunity to be himself as a person, not a father.
Wow, what a nice person you are. I mean, you're caring for your father, but let's just see how that progresses as we move further into the story.
Him the opportunity to be himself as a person, not a father. I noticed a difference with him as the weeks went by. He was sprier and seemed genuinely happier. I would ask him how he and she were doing, and they were doing pretty well. He said that he wanted to meet her soon, and she said that too, apparently. I'm a slightly territorial person, especially with my house, so even though I remained mostly uninvolved with his dating life,
Wow, just wow. I mean, she wants to move in with you, right? And you just instantly think, oh my god, she's definitely gonna have to be a murderer. She's gonna come in, kill my whole family, kill my dog, kill my fish, and then leave. She's just gonna kill everybody, and it's all over. GG, boy. It's done for. We're dead.
so I told him to meet her at an agreed-upon public spot, and he was like, yeah, sure. So skip past a couple of weeks, and he left the house to go meet her. I was happy that he might have found somebody that made him happy. He was gone for a few hours, which was cool. Later in the afternoon, he texted me and asked if it was okay if she could meet me. I didn't have anything to do.
You literally just said she was going to be a murderer. Like, this doesn't make sense. Make up your mind, please. You're like, oh yeah, she's a murderer. but it's okay if she meets my dad, and then it's okay if she comes to my house and wants to meet me. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Noon, he texted me and asked if it was okay if she could meet me. I didn't have anything to do, so I replied with sure. 20 minutes later, he returned home with Raylan in the passenger seat. I wasn't jumping out of my skin in excitement, but I wasn't completely unenthusiastic either. When she stepped out of the car, she wasn't ugly. Dark brown hair, dark eyes, tallish. She wasn't bad looking, but that wasn't my first impression of her. When he came into the house with her, I was already waiting at the door. He introduced me to her and her to me. Everything seemed to have been going well until she actually...
What is that supposed to mean? Like, you're doing fine and everything, and then she just looks at you and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. This is a murderer right here. I shouldn't have let her into my house. I'm gonna die now.
Until she actually looked at me. Her face went from bright and passive to scowling and aggressive. She was pretty cold towards me and brushed me off. My dad was confused as to why she seemed so hostile towards me, but she just said she didn't want to talk about it. While this did affect how I saw her, my dad didn't say he hated her, so... The rest of the day, Raylan spent with my dad, but ignored me the entire time, only sending me dirty looks and consistent passive-aggressive comments about me. I didn't...
Why is she so mad at her? Like, look at all those faces she's making. I mean, like, she's got, like, upside-down V's as her fucking mouth. That means she's definitely mad, eh?
Consistent passive-aggressive comments about me. I didn't say anything. Not yet, at least. I figured maybe she just didn't like that my dad had a kid, even though I'm 20 years old and that my dad had it in his bio that he had me. My dad did ask her about her kid, but she just said that he, keyword, he, was going to come home for a few weeks for winter break. That was only a week after that moment. So jump to the next week. My dad and Raylan were still talking, and he did talk to me about her unfriendliness towards me. I told him not to worry about it, and that I would be able to handle it if push came to
In the blue corner, we have one bitchy female, and in the right corner, we have another bitchy female. Let's see them fight it out over this
Father. Oh, man, it's just such a fucking dumb story, man. This is so stupid.
to me about her unfriendliness towards me. I told him not to worry about it, and that I would be able to handle it if push came to shove. Since my dad introduced me to her, she felt it would only be respectful that she introduced her son to him as well. Well, she did. And she brought him to our house. Her son was on winter break, and he came back from college for it. My dad asked what his name was, and she replied with, "His name's Brendan." And I was like, okay, that's fine, there's a lot of people with that name. But the way she said it made it seem like I was supposed to know something.
Wow, I mean, your new stepbrother is your ex-boyfriend. Good job. You have a fucking brain.
A lot of people with that name. But the way she said it made it seem like I was supposed to know something. I ignored her subliminal messages because I thought she was just being rude like always. Well, I thought, until her son walked through the door. Raylan, my dad's now-then girlfriend's son, was my ex-boyfriend Brendan, who would probably become my stepbrother if things worked out. Things got a lot more complicated after that. Raylan loved my dad and hated me. Brendan was okay with my dad and hated me. I hated both of them and loved my dad. It was a train wreck of emotions and feelings between us four. It's been 2 years.
Something tells me this family is not going to work out very well.
It's been 2 years since I've seen and talked to Brendan, and I've no doubt he talked bad about me to his family. Mainly his mother. I don't think there's anything you could do. I don't think there's anything I can do. The only one who can cut Raylan and Brendan out is my dad. It's his choice in the end, but I didn't feel like having any familial relationships with the two. I go to a community college that isn't that far away from home. I have the choice to move into the dorm. If Raylan was going to visit a lot, I didn't want to be there, but I also didn't want to drift away from my dad either. But I also don't want to rip away one part of his joy and happiness. I'm so conflicted. I'm constantly trying to choose between putting my feelings or his above each other. She's not a bad or toxic person. I just broke her son's heart, and she resents me for it, even though it wasn't my fault.
Okay, wow, I mean, it kind of was your fault because you broke up with him, broke his heart, but in the end, it doesn't matter. His mom is upset with you, and then somehow, miraculously, you guys make up, and then there's a happy ending. That's it. We're done for. This video is boring. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.
Last duel, I gave you my scar, but the very next match, You gave it to default. This match to save my V-Bucks. I'll give it to Jones and Sting.